Print on demand?
Yeah, so the one I have currently is like a physical product. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So the current brand that I have at the moment is like it's a humidifier, um, which is doing it's been doing really well on Google because obviously the times that we're in right now, these can be used to regulate humidity and also purify the air. So it's super on trend right now because of obviously the coronavirus and everything. So um, we're just kind of, that's where I thought that maybe my ads that I set up using the strategy that is in the course might be a little bit too focused on the virus kind of sector, and that's what might have got the ad account disabled. So I went a little bit lighter in terms of the ads, but I feel with this product right now, it's this campaign, it's still kind of very early stages. I mean, in terms of the new ad account, we've only really spent about 900 crowns, which is about, I think it's, not too sure how much actually, 951 is about $139. So it's still kind of in the testing phase as what you would call it based off the course. So I'm still kind of working through the course that you have, but yeah, I've done Facebook ads before. I think my main problem was I wasn't able to get a proper overview of the account properly, and also I was a little bit impatient, where I think your course that you provide has allowed me to kind of say, okay, I just need to give things more time, but then having that threshold of I need to look at when my ads have spent $5 and also had 500 impressions. So really, I think this is kind of just leave it until I get to that stage, unless you want to have a look at anything that's in here. Other than that, I think I'm pretty good. It was more the print on demand that I wanted to ask you and quiz you about in terms of questions. And I'll shut up a bit now. I've talked quite a lot, so.
No worries at all. That was great insight. And so thank you. Yeah, so
No,
from the look at this, it looks like the campaigns are headed in the right direction. I mean, you got a
yeah,
few that are 8x ROAS, 4x. That's good.
yeah, exactly. And if we go into like deeper into the ads, they're even higher. So some of these
Yeah,
ads are like, barely. It's still really early because they
very.
barely spent anything. So I think 34 crowns is about $5. So not. I think one spent coming up close to $5. So um,
Gotcha. Yeah, so like once you see a few more purchases come in here, then you can start optimizing.
yeah, exactly. Based on I think it's the second week or the second or third week based on the course, and I would just be following that and pretty much just following that, and then also looking at some of your Q&A case studies and stuff like that. Because to be honest, the reason I bought the course and just jumped in is because I've been watching your YouTube videos for the last like I think couple of weeks. So
Okay.
they've been super insightful. The only thing that the reason I pulled the plug was there's just some bits that's obviously not covered in the YouTube videos that I feel that have been really covered in the course, and that's the reason why I pulled the trigger on it.
Got
And
it.
I'm super happy with what's been provided there. It's also kind of looking at doing the market research and stuff, and that's what we've been doing currently with the new POD brand. It's just in terms of the POD brand, it was, yeah, we're really unsure about, because I'm doing it with my brother, I am. So we're really unsure about how we launch it in terms of like creative, because, yeah, maybe I'll give you a little bit more of context. I think I've got. So we're going to be doing these like, it's for the dog niche, because I have quite an insight. I ran some drop shipping in the dog niche last year and I did fairly well. But the whole China shipping thing was just something that I didn't really want to continue, because it's just so, it can be just so risky and they ended up selling the brand, with the idea that I would focus on US fulfillment and just something that that would be produced and shipped within the US, just because it's just more reliable, and people within the US, obviously, you yourself probably, trust items that are shipped within the US or even produced within the US. So have a good knowledge of the dog niche. So we've come up with these quote T-shirts. So we have, for instance, I'll just like these, so like doggy pairing. What we found was when we ran the basically the drop shipping we were doing, is like people were very proud of showing their dogs off and showing that they were a dog owner. We thought that we would take something that's fairly on trend now in terms of like having quotes on t-shirts, and just mix those with dog quotes, but with a premium factor. So you can see this kind of the prints that we're doing, the way we're laying out is going to be more than just your kind of standard POD where it's just throw it out there. And so that was kind of the baseline that we're working from. We also have like a content-based website that we provide,
Perfect.
and we make money off the advertisements, and we run a lot
Mhm.
of like traffic arbitrage. So we kind of buy and sell, and we just plug in the network. So we make money from this. But the next layer was really e-commerce, because we have Facebook page as well where we deliver a lot of content, and we're going to be plugging instant articles and the audience network into there next, and making money from the articles that we produce here. So the next tier really to make it more passive would be to add the e-commerce layer in, where we would do the print on demand. So yeah, so just that was like more of a context there, so you get kind of an idea. The only issue I feel like we're really kind of stuck on is how do we, like, in terms of creative. So with one product, it's fairly easy, and I've already found it like it's fairly easy. We'll do a video, we'll do pictures, and we'll do different ad copies. But when it comes to like, we have like 20 different designs here. We have some lifestyle photos, and I can also mock up some of styles like these. But how would you go about kind of picking the top 10 really in terms of lifestyle? Because we would hate to start something that would we would hate to start a design that maybe the design wasn't great, but the lifestyle shot was. So we're kind of in this bit where maybe we're just overthinking it. So I just wanted to hear what your kind of thoughts are on this, and how you would probably approach it. So
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So with the what you would do is you would have one, you can end up having the lifestyle shots, but you should also have like carousels where you
yeah.
are showing those images of just the quotes on the shirt. So that way it can actually be there and people can go through and see each individual like
Okay.
quote itself, and they could
Yeah.
choose which one they like. And as you see more people clicking on the ones they really like and the ones that people are going to, then you can start doing lifestyle shots around that. So that way you're not putting
Okay.
so
Yeah.
much emphasis into having to, do these big photo shoots of getting all this content.
Yeah.
You can first
Exactly.
find out which ones are converting and then put um, the content into the lifestyle on those.
So would you do, so for instance, would you do carousels and collections initially, and then would you just do different versions of ad copies then, in terms of getting your variation out there? Because I know that I like the idea of, normally I would only put a couple of ads under, but I do like the idea of the direction that you go with, like test as many as you can with your initial testing phase and then cut down from there. I'm just thinking, would it be different ad copies and different titles then, with the carousels as the actual creative?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
because it could be the copy that's helping it convert as well.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So that was, I guess that was an easy one. It was like we kind of thought about that, but then I noticed that, I don't know whether I've watched something somewhere in the course or on YouTube about you just saying not to go with collections initially, but maybe that was for a single product. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that does make we can definitely start there, and we do plan to start running ads towards the end of this week. We're just trying to get the site to the point with where we want it to be. But um, and yeah, I'm just trying to think if I have anything else that in terms of kind of that regarding that launch. But other than that, I don't. I kind of really, that was the main question we had in terms of launch and Facebook, because I feel like drilling down and looking at the ads and stuff like that, your course really kind of covers a lot of how to look over that, and also the Q and A's as well are really insightful. And I still need to go through a lot of those. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, great. I'm glad to hear that. And are you running these this the brand that you just showed me through this ad account, or is it in a different one?
no, it's going to be in a. It's going to be on a. We have a separate business manager called Brothers for that, and then this Snower one is like my personal, for my personal kind of. Since I'm here in Denmark and my brothers are in the UK, see, so I have my business here, my holding company, and these businesses here, and then my brother, we've got a joint one in the UK, so we'll run off a different business manager there. We have submitted all the verification, so we're just kind of waiting for Facebook to approve of that. It's just been, I think it's been like almost 3 weeks now, so I think they're a bit backed up with that. So
Right.
yeah, we're just trying to get everything, because the one thing I hear a lot about is, because I'm part of like e-commerce communities, is they really talk about their ad accounts going down and stuff like that. And I really feel like it's the fact that as soon as they find something that's working, they just go, they go crazy on the spends. And I feel like if you're not verified, or if that count hasn't been kind of seasoned in terms of spend, it's yeah, I think that's just a way to get your business manager banned. So we're just trying to cover all the boundaries in terms of getting verified, making sure that we're not spending too quick, too soon. And yeah, just so I was a bit shocked that the ad account got disabled the other day, but I do generally feel like it was down to the ads, and that was a little bit too aggressive in terms of the wording. So I pulled it back and everything. To be honest, they've been converting a bit better than what my first initial tests on the other accounts were running anyway. So I'm happy with that.
Good. Yeah, that's good because that's exactly right. Ad accounts will get locked so easily these days, so it's
Yeah.
important to have everything verified.
And we have like Google. I mean, with this brand here, I didn't do Facebook straight away. I did Google, and then I think the great thing about Google is it allowed us to kind of test different keywords, so we could really know what marketing messages we came across. So, like for the humidifier, we're not so focused on just the virus factor, but they also help with allergies and sinus problems and dry cough. So we've really worked that into like the variations of ads. So we'll have one that might be humidity. There'll be one that'll be like the number one cause of the allergies is down to the dry air. And so that's kind of like I've used what I've learned from Google into adapting that into Facebook, and the results so far haven't been too bad, so I'm quite happy about that.
Perfect. That's good.
Cool. But other than that, really, I don't want to keep you too long, Chase, because I think, to be honest, like the course has more than enough in the community and everything has there. I just wanted to jump on because I think we're overthinking the whole new brand. Other than that, I think, that you've covered a hell of a lot in that course, and I'm so happy that I took, pulled the trigger and took it. And I think, to be honest, yeah, it seems like a lot at the time, but looking at it now, I think that I'm just going to make that plus more back with how it's structured and how you go in depth in terms of looking at your account, and also how many people you've been able to help. So that's I mean, the calls and putting them on YouTube was just like the game changer for me, really, in terms of kind of having something to go over. And now I've got the Q&As in the Facebook group. It's just value for money in terms of, and having a call with you and be able to ask you questions is just the cherry on the cake. So, as they say.
Yeah. Well, that's really amazing to hear. That's so awesome. Yeah. Well, perfect. I mean, have you signed up for the calls as well?
No, I haven't signed up yet, just because I've got a lot going on. But once
Got it.
things kind of level off a little bit, because we're
Yeah.
launching the brand, and I'm definitely going to get in on the Q and A's. Because there was actually, I think there was one last question that I had um, is there a reason why you don't use the dynamic creatives in terms of when you're running your tests to see which one is more performant? That was kind of the only other question that I had in terms of like, you're launching a lot, there's a lot of ads that get launched here. Wouldn't dynamic creative be a little bit better in terms of setup, I guess?
It's a good point. The main ways we use dynamic is with retargeting.
Okay.
So we'll use it because it ends up showing them the exact product that they viewed, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can get a high return on ad spend by showing them the product that's the best seller, even though that might not be the one they looked at specifically. But when you
Yeah.
have a lot of variations of a product, then it's really important to do dynamic for the retargeting because you want to show
Okay.
them the most relevant one for them to convert.
Yeah.
Then the only other way we would use dynamic is if there was at least more than 50 products itself, where there's
Okay.
just so many different colors, so many different variations of the product, where it's just like it doesn't even make sense to launch this many ad variations
Yeah.
because it would just take too
Exactly.
much time.
And you're talking about the dynamic in terms of the DPA, right? The sales catalog ads, or this
Correct.
dynamic creative.
Yeah.
I meant this one in
Yeah.
terms of like this one here where it does that, you load in
The
all your
headlines and
creatives
everything.
and
Oh yeah,
yeah, and you just
we're
kind
not
of
a fan of that only because the social proof of it never gets tracked. And
yeah, that's it.
that's the
Okay.
big issue because you can't stack the social proof, which doesn't allow you to invite all those people. It doesn't allow you to build up momentum. And then
No, exactly.
the
Exactly.
other issue is like you don't always know which one's performing best. And
Yeah, because the breakdown only gives you like one of, you can only look at the actual singular items. I think that's what it is, right? You can only
yeah,
look at the images or the title. You can't look at whether it was the actual combination altogether, kind of thing, right?
exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
most important
Okay.
part.
I thought it might be that the case. And I mean, like for me, I've just created like an ad group in here with all the creatives, and then I just then reuse everything inside of here just because I found that like having maybe the one ad group in here that had all the master creatives in there could actually get a bit messy. But so yeah, to sound that was a little bit easier. But yeah, that was what I wanted to hear. That's what I thought really. But it was just more out of curiosity because I think I saw someone in the group talking about dynamic creatives, but it might have been just for retargeting.
Right. Yeah. Because this allows you to split it all out by line item and know exactly what combination it is.
Yeah, and then kill. And I mean, for instance, the dynamic, you would have to edit the ad to be able to make the changes if you wanted to take something out. I guess that would then flick everything back in. You'd probably lose your social proof and then flick everything back into learning, I would have thought. So,
You're right.
yeah.
That's what would happen.
Cool. So that was it, really.
Well,
And
perfect.
you've been like, yeah, I just can't thank you enough. And
Yeah.
I just wish I'd stumbled across the course just sooner because, like it would have been great to have it last year because we did do quite well in terms of revenue last year. I was also able to get like $1 million credit line with Facebook, which we're not using right now, which went with the company. So that was kind of like it was just insane how I stumbled across that. But if I'd had this whole kind of structure and been a bit more patient, I think that the numbers would have been even better. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the direction they go from both brands. So yeah, I'm just super excited, and it was great to get you on a call. Really
Well, perfect. Yeah, awesome. I'm super excited over here too. I'm excited to see how this turns out and where the results
cool.
are headed.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. In terms of kind of like giving you information, obviously I don't want to bombard you on email, but I definitely would like to kind of let you know how I go along on this. Is there anywhere I can kind of reach you in terms of like to maybe send you a screenshot and just say, hey, the updates are going well, or just shall I just send it to you the email that I've been replying to currently?
Yeah, you could put it in the group. That would help.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. I just didn't want to spam people in there in terms of like, hey, check out my results kind of thing. But if I can post in there and maybe give some, insight on what I've been doing as well, that'd
Oh,
be
do
great.
it. They would love that.
Cool. I'll do that then. And also, I was thinking with the POD stuff, I might also, maybe give some feedback in there, once we've established that might give some people some help in there. But yeah, as long as I know I can post in there and I'm not like
100.
breaking any rules. So
Oh yeah, feel free. Go right ahead.
cool. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, perfect. I appreciated getting on this call with you.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you. And I'll let you go now. Have a good day.
Alrighty, you as well. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.